Welcome to this IEECP Lunch Seminar. Today we'll hear from Dragovic Matosovic on the Prospect Plus and ENERGee Watch projects. Mia, the floor is yours.
Thank you, Marine. So, as some of you might know, if you watched our previous seminars, every time we try to present certain projects on a certain topic, and IEECP has, as you might have noticed, quite a strong presence in many areas of energy efficiency and sustainability. And we cover policy matters. We deal with the different types of actors from national level, local level, SMEs, and so on. So I also encourage you to check out our other projects. But today we will be talking about our certain niche that we do, and that is focusing on cities and regions. So today we're presenting actually two projects that are specifically designed for cities and regions and their respective agencies, to see how we can improve their energy efficiency and other sustainable measures. So the projects in question are ENERGee Watch, that has been around since September 2020, so almost 2 years, and Prospect Plus. Now, Prospect Plus says here started in September 21, but to many of you, it should be familiar because we already had over 150 cities joining the first Prospect, which was about 5 years ago. And this time around, we're basically doing we have the same goal, but with improved program. So I hope you like it and find something for yourselves in there. Now, what is the difference between these two projects? I already mentioned that they both focus on cities and regions, but the idea is that in Prospect, we try to search for mentees and mentors who would like to learn who would like to join with one specific measure on energy efficiency that they're trying to implement, and they would like to experiment with sustainable, innovative financing, so something that is not bank loans or own financing. And we offer help in terms of either providing our mentors or finding other mentors in Europe for you to show you how this can be implemented. So it is one measure as opposed to ENERGee Watch. In ENERGee Watch, we look more for larger regions or energy agencies who deal with plethora of energy efficiencies and sustainable measures. So basically somebody who handles the regional SEAP, SECAP, or any other kind of local or regional plan. And what we do there is try to, through a set of courses we offer, we try to improve their monitoring and verification of their measures. So that's a bit about the difference, and now we will go into each. And the idea is just to shortly cover what they offer. So hopefully you can, it can spark your interest and you can find something for yourselves and go on our websites and search for more information. So let's start with ENERGee Watch. ENERGee Watch has what we call 4 topics, 4 modules, whichever way. So that means that you will get to choose one of these topics and join one of those topics or courses. So the topics are data collection. The second is monitoring and verification. The third is indicators for adaptation to climate change. And the fourth one is data display, dissemination, and validation. Of course, if you are interested, you can wait for a next cycle, join again another course. But the idea is that each of these 4 courses, you get one mentor. Mentors are internal. So they are on board with us in ENERGee Watch, and they will guide you through a certain amount of steps through a few months. We try to do it all in 5 months. And of course, it's all with your feedback, and we try to actually involve what you are doing in your cities and regions and help you with your specific issues. Now, when it comes to how the courses are conducted, so far it was mostly all online, but I'm happy to say that we started traveling again, so expect to have some travels. The idea is that you visit the mentor at least once, and maybe twice if you are one to two times, depending on the topic and how the situation will be. Of course, the expenses of travel are covered. So this is for ENERGee Watch, just to say that the groups are quite small enough to really interact with each other and get to know other regions. It can be anywhere from 3 to 10 participants, depending on the interest. And who are your mentors? Well, on this map, you can see our ENERGee Watch Consortium, and we have 7 energy agencies on board. So they all, of course, helped with creating the program, but 4 of them are actually that you see underlined here from France, Cyprus, and Slovenia are actually the ones who are conducting your programs, and you can really find interesting GIFs and animations online on them and who your actual mentors are. So you can check it out because we're really proud to have them on board. Now we come to Prospect, and in Prospect, as we mentioned before, we have a different set of topics, and we focus specifically on one type of measure with which you enter the program. So the topics that we have here are 5. We divided them into public buildings, private buildings, transport, public lighting, and cross-sectoral. Now, cross-sectoral can include many issues. We also urge you to tell us what measures you are dealing with. If it's something new, innovative, we can cover that, or at least try to, because the concept here is a bit different. So as I mentioned, in ENERGee Watch, we have the 4 mentors on board, and that's it. In Prospect, we also invite you to join as a mentor. So you can either join as a mentee if you want to learn something, or if you have something implemented and some good practice that you want to share, you can be a mentor. Now, don't be discouraged by this word. It doesn't mean that you need to have 100 projects behind you. It just means that if you did something, implemented something in practice in your city or region, and it works, that's something that's valuable to share with other cities. If you do join as a mentor, of course, if we match you up with a mentee, you will get also a fee for participating in this course. Plus, of course, all travel expenses covered. Now, I mentioned also that for these measures, we focus on innovative financing schemes. So oftentimes we get asked, what are innovative financing schemes? So it's good to know them here. There are many more or combinations of these, and we go through them all and we try to tell you for your specific measure which combinations you can use, which are the best, why or why not. We also have some guidebooks on these, so please check it out on our website. And to see who are the mentors here. So we have knowledge hubs, 3 knowledge hubs, Adelphi, IEECP, and UPRC or Tesla in Greece, who prepare all your materials. Then we have the 3 large agencies, ENERGee Cities, Eurocities, and Federen. And then we have the 5 energy agencies that you can see here, and much more on them and what they can offer you on our website. I can tell you they're very experienced, and so far we got great feedback. But as mentioned again, you can join them as a mentor and be there also. So as mentioned, the Prospect has been around for over maybe seven years now. So we learned a lot of lessons along the way. I'll try to share the ones that we found the most interesting. So although we see that the awareness about sustainable issues is rising for sure, and everybody knows they need to do energy action plans and climate plans and what that is or what it involves. The plans often still just are left in a drawer and wait for some better opportunities for a different set of reasons, mostly because there isn't enough people involved to actually deal with sustainable issues. And often, of course, with this, I would say just an idea that they don't have a budget enough to implement something. But what we find in practice when we have mentees joining, most of these problems are actually solvable. So it's just about giving mentees a bit of push and answering a few of their questions for them to get going and actually implement what they can. So the interest is huge for our project and in general for sustainable measures. But what we find is that through the years, let's say the depth of knowledge, it's really interesting. On one hand, we have a lot of cities that have many things to share, really interesting. But on the other, most cities are still starting out. So that just means that there is a need for projects like these. And if you are one of those people working in a city or a region and you have it mostly figured out, but you just have some obstacles that you cannot surpass, I think this is a project for you, and let us know and we will try to help you as much as we can through our program. So there is this polarization And it also comes from what I mentioned, the capacities in cities. So we try to do really extensive research to see why this is happening, why some cities are so successful in implementing sustainable measures through innovative financing, and why others just can't seem to get going. And we noticed a very, very interesting difference. There was a research done. So you can see a part of this here if you like watching graphs. If not, I'll try to explain what's the most important on this graph. So we noticed that it's not about the amount of budget or budget per capita or however you want to measure it. It's not about the amount that's allocated for sustainable measures. It's more about any amount being allocated. So where there is no, I think it comes to very, very determined political commitment. If there is a political commitment in the city, things are happening, even if there's a low budget to start with. And if there isn't any commitment and any budget, things, of course, just aren't happening. So this seems so obvious when we say it like this, but when we did this research, it was really interesting to see that the amount, the actual amount of the budget didn't make much of difference with less or more. With the most the best cities in implementing sustainable measures. It's just about having some time, having people, and having the budget to do it. So I encourage everybody to start, even if it's starting small. And if you want to read more about this, there is the research a link to the research published here. And at the end for today, just another interesting thing, there is really a lot of information that you can find for yourselves in Prospect, even if you don't decide to participate in our program, or if we are not able to find you an appropriate mentor. For all of the topics we mentioned, we have handbooks that you can find online and just read through themselves, and they can help you out. If you know of colleagues of yours who would like to take part and they are not proficient in English, because of course the majority of the courses take place in English, we can also organize courses in your own language if we find appropriate mentors and match you up. So that's also an opportunity. So please don't be discouraged by your knowledge of English. And in the end, with all the cities that we work with, we try to find replicable practices. So it can be good practices, innovative practices, just something that's interesting that cities are working on. We try to publish it right away so the knowledge is shared with all of you. And you can find it again on our website. There's a part of it called replicable practices. So for example, here you see, I'll just show you 3 examples. Something that's very popular, the EPC project with street lighting. That has been implemented a lot, but still a lot of cities are searching for this knowledge. So we have examples of that. Again, EPCs in the Dolomites, something a bit different, but the same mechanism, EPC. And the third one is EPCs to tackle energy poverty. So as you can see, the 3 examples chosen here are all to do with EPC. Interesting to note, EPC is getting most attention from all the innovative instruments, which doesn't mean it suits all projects or that it should be always used or that it's always simple, but it's something that's just coming across Europe a lot. And when concerning topics, it's very interesting. It changes from year to year, your interests. So for example, when we started this, there was almost no interest in transport. There were a few flagship cities that did wonderful things with energy efficiency in transport, but there was just not a lot of interest. Maybe because it was perceived that it's capital heavy, I don't know, but there wasn't a lot of interest. And when we were approaching the end of the first prospect, most of interest was in transport. So these things change and shift from public lighting to buildings, and it just, I wouldn't say it's just, I wouldn't even call it a trend. It's just the interest changes, and we are here to fit your interest and find the appropriate mentors. And now finally, to see if you are interested when you can join, this is the real time to start and check our website, because this summer ENERGee Watch is starting its last cycle. So please do go on our website. The campaign is not published yet, but you can get involved, leave your email address, and you will be notified of all the upcoming actions. And for Prospect Plus, we have 2 cycles left, and the next one will start also probably in August, but we're starting to promote it. And again, you can go there, check out our material, and sign up so you can get all the information on time. So that's it. Thank you. And again, I urge you to also check IEECP site for our other projects. Thank you.
Thanks a lot, Mia, for the great presentation. We'll also make sure to produce a briefing on this video so you can keep track of it and disseminate to your colleagues. As Mia said, it's very important to attract also participants who don't know yet about Prospect Plus and ENERGee Watch. Do you have questions for Mia? No? So I think, could you explain if we have any idea why there is a preference for EPC? So there was a question in the chat for you, Mia.
I think there was as we know, a huge renovation wave in Europe, and it was just something that was promoted a lot. And EPC is great mechanism for renovation, both in buildings and public lighting. So it is a great mechanism in many ways. But I do believe I think it's more about promotion, because then when the first wave started, and when the energy agencies, when there were agencies arising ESCOs who do and implement EPCs, they helped to push the cities to move forward. So I think sometimes this link, and I would just express this importance that we see of energy agencies or any kind of agencies dealing with sustainable measures, so the private sector that pushes the public sector forward and helps them with the capacities that maybe sometimes public sector doesn't have. So that would be my answer. But there are a lot of other great also innovative mechanisms in place. Maybe also the trust is one of the issues. If you have an agency that you're working with and you have trust built up with them, and you know who you are working with, maybe it's much easier to make such a complicated process and arrangement as EPC. Maybe sometimes easier than working with a bank who is commercial and you don't have such a good relationship or involved in relationship like them as you do with your own energy agency in your city. So that would be one of my guesses.
Thanks a lot, Mia.
Thank you.
And I wish you all a nice day, and thanks a lot again, Mia, for this great presentation.